Hi everybody, I hope you guys are doing well out there. I hope you guys are keeping safe. So welcome to another video. Welcome to Plant Based. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for stumbling on this video. I do hope that you will stay and join and subscribe. And if you are returning, and you've already watched the first video and you've already subscribed, you know what? I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you for everyone who is subscribing. And just on that note, I would just like to apologize a little. So the first video came out about 2 months ago, and I kind of had to take a break and stop like filming or recording or anything like that, because I just felt like I needed a bit of a break, you know, from social media. I did a little bit of a social media cleanse, and it really served me well. I just needed that for my mental health, and it really did help me ground myself and get back on track with my things. And I had like exams coming up, so you know, it was like a delayed thing, but nevertheless, we're here now. Thank you for joining me. Quick disclaimer, like we always do, I am a doctor. I am a doctor, I'm just not your doctor. So if you do need medical advice, you know, professional health advice, please do seek that elsewhere, because I am my own doctor, I'm not your doctor. So, you know, you don't want to cause any issues. But anyway, today's video is about a health journey. What is a health journey? And how do you get started on one, right? And why you would even want to consider being or having a health journey to begin with. So I'm just going to start by defining what a health journey means for me personally. And what that looks like is basically a commitment. For me, a health journey is a commitment, committing to doing certain practices and building certain habits that will, in the long run, get me to a place that I desire to be in with my health, right? So whatever that looks like for me on a day-to-day basis, ultimately it's going to give me what I want, right? My utmost health, you know, my best health that I can get for myself, considering everything else. So that's just how simple it is for me. I mean, this can mean something different for you, obviously, and it can be centered around specific, you know, disciplines of health. It could be maybe you want to be a little bit more nutrition based, you want to be a little bit more exercise physical based, whatever that means to you, whatever your ultimate goal is, kind of determines and, you know, paints a picture for your journey, and what it looks like, or what it's going to look like for you, depending on your focus. But for me, it's more holistic, like we discussed in our previous video, formulating a perspective on health. I hold a very holistic view and perspective on what I understand health to be. It's very multifaceted. So for me, it's putting in a little bit of work every day into different areas to ultimately get myself to improve, to get better at things, and to ultimately, you know, have a grip on like things and have vitality and have life and feel good and, you know, be energetic and all these things that we want, right? So that's what it means for me. And maybe to simplify for people, I would say think of it as like a hair journey, or what other spiritual journey, you know. Think of it as the same thing, you know. It takes time. You put in a little bit every day to get to a certain point, and yeah, you just kind of keep yourself on track by defining what it is that you want. In the end, you keep yourself on track with doing a little bit of whatever it is that you can do on a daily basis. So that's what I would define a health journey as. Please comment down below as well if you hold a differing view or understanding of what a health journey looks like for you. And yeah, I think it would be interesting for all of us to see and share that kind of a thing, if you do have differing understandings. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about a bit of some background as to my own personal health journey. So I kind of really started my health journey on a whim, you know. It was so like instantaneous and like almost, I don't know, it was so weird. Like I just jumped into things without even thinking about it, and then before I knew it, I was deep into it. So how it started for me personally was I somehow was drawn to, okay, I've always been drawn to like healthy eating and like nutrition and just being careful of what I eat on a day-to-day. Food for me is just something that I find an interest in. So besides that, I was kind of on YouTube back in the day, like post matric, yeah, just when I was coming off of matric to starting my first year. Between that time, I was on YouTube a lot, and I was like watching these American international YouTubers who have channels about food and about vegan life, and the vegan lifestyle and the vegan diet. And I was just so hooked, like I was like intrigued by it. And so I just decided like, okay, I'm gonna try to be vegan. And I did. I literally quit everything cold turkey. I didn't think about anything. I barely knew anything to do with veganism besides what I was seeing. And so I really like jumped into that, and that just kickstarted my health journey, I guess, because from just that one decision that I made, I have come to learn so much about health in insurmountable ways. Like I have gained so much knowledge. It's literally like changed my life, I would say. So yeah, that's really how simple my journey started. And I feel like it keeps changing for me, you know. Right now, as it is, I wouldn't say I'm fully vegan anymore. I'm not necessarily 100% plant-based. 90% of my diet now is plant-based, but I have been experimenting with fish and all of that, and I'm gonna make a separate video about how long I've been vegan, what I learned about on my little vegan journey, and you know how I'm modifying my diet right now and why, right? And all the in-depth reasons about why. So that's going to be in a different video. Stay tuned if you want to see that. But yeah, for me, that's just how simple my health journey started. For you, it can be different, and you can really go at it anyway, right? You can start with anything, any particular thing that you maybe want to work on immediately. It's gonna definitely look different for everybody. So that's that. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on how I got into these health things, and I feel like people just perceive me as somebody who is way ahead on my journey, and I wouldn't necessarily say that myself, because it's a beautiful thing, you know. You just discover so much about yourself, and you almost really get in tune with yourself when you pay attention to the things that you do, how they make you feel. It can be so simple, like how do you feel after you have your lunch? Do you feel like the itis? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel like you want to take a nap? Or do you feel energized, and do you feel light? You know, it's simple things like that can really be telling of your health habits, excuse me, you know, like it can be so telling. So how to get started on the health journey, right? It is so simple. I would suggest that on top of wherever you are right now in your particular journey, I would advise that you do this little exercise that I kind of came up with. And before I even describe what it is, it seems a little silly. It really does, I won't lie. It seems a little silly to even do this, but at the same time, it's so helpful, and it's so necessary almost if you're very kind of lost, or you don't think you have a health journey. Find out more about your particular health habits, I would suggest that you do this exercise. So how it works is that you're gonna need a piece of paper, right? A page, or you can even do this on your phone, but you're just gonna need to write down all the kind of activities that you do within a day, and even the silly things, right? So how, for instance, how long it takes for you to make your bed, what time it is you're making your bed, and how it's making you feel. So that's 3 things, right? How the particular activity you're doing is making you feel, how long it's taking you to do it, at what time you're doing it for, and what else? How it's making you feel, how long you're taking to do it, at what time you're doing it. Yeah, pretty much that's all, right? And you take sort of inventory of all the things you do. So this includes how long you take to eat, how long it takes for you to make the food, and how the food makes you feel after you've eaten it, right? This can be how many hours you're spending working on something, how it's making you feel. It can be so different for everybody, and our days are set out so differently as well, right? So it's gonna look very different for everyone, but I really do encourage that we do this, because it's gonna be a very informative, in the sense that you'll gain perspective into what makes you feel a certain way and why it's making you feel that way, how you can tweak the little activity, exercise, practice, whatever it is for you to work for you instead of against you, right? Because a lot of the time I feel like our lives are so fast paced to the point where like we get to the end of the day and we're just so tired and drained, and we don't necessarily know where our energy went. Even though we know the things that we did, we're kind of not in depthly if I can say that, we don't know, and you know, how much energy we gave to a certain thing and how that made us feel. You know, was it I give energy, I get energy back in a certain way? Was it a transactional thing, or was it just a thing that took our energy, you know? But I'm gonna leave all of that for you guys to figure out for yourselves. But really, that's just the gist of how you get started. So the main reason, or the objective rather, of this exercise is to help you understand what it is that you're already doing. So what health habits you already have in place, and it may not even be necessarily a health habit, but just your daily practices, the things that you do habitually. What those things are doing for you. Are they taking away from you? Are they helping you get to the point where you want to be with your health as a whole? Or do you need to change up some things, or do you need to do things a little bit differently, or do you completely need to get rid of doing certain things, right? And how much time you're also spending doing those things will be very helpful in terms of understanding your time management, and so forth. So that's really all I've got for you guys today. I'll also be doing this exercise. I think you want to be doing it for about a week to 2 weeks, just in case you have like a schedule that changes. Maybe you're doing something for a week and then the next week it looks completely different, like your day and how it's planned out. So sweet spot is about 2 weeks, but if you can't drag it to like 2 weeks, because it is a little bit what's the word, it can be a little bit daunting if you're going to be writing down everything that you're doing, right? But I really think that it is worth it, in order to understand where you are and where you want to be. And at the end, obviously, of doing this exercise, what we are trying to achieve is looking into your life, right, from an objective point of view. It's you sitting back and looking at your life, from the outside and picking out what it is that you want to see happening more of, or the things that you want to change, or the things that you want to completely remove based on what your goal is. So yeah, really, this I believe is going to help a lot of people start somewhere, because sometimes being or embarking on a health journey can be so like intimidating, because you're like, oh my god, now I have to quit this, I have to stop this, I have to do this, I have to do that. And it doesn't have to be all so daunting. It can be very easy. It can be like baby steps, you know, whatever pace suits your lifestyle and your demands is absolutely fine. As long as you've got something that you're working towards, like a goal, and you understand that you have to be disciplined on the journey, and you have to do a little bit every day to get the bigger reward at the end of the day, whenever that goal is going to be met. And even then, right, there's still maintaining afterwards, but it's just an ongoing journey, and it changes so much. I definitely won't lie, it gets hard. You really do need to want to do this for it to work. And just like anything that we do in life, right, you need to dedicate yourself in some way, shape or form in order to see your desired result. And yeah, I hope that whenever you guys do this exercise, if you do choose to do it, that it really does help you. And yeah, hopefully you can come back to the video as well and comment down below what it is that you found out about you know, that inventory list that you took on your daily practices and where it led you. So yeah, from me to you guys, today I think that's all I want to talk about and touch on. Please do, like I said before in the beginning, subscribe if you haven't. It really means a lot to me, keeps me motivated, you know. And yeah, until then, peace be with you. I will see you on my next video. Bye.